but it's also industry work. We're talking about the financing of Sherman Neely over here. We're talking about the independence over here of DXJ. And we're talking about Joe Gibbs and his working the market. We're talking about Henry Stone and his working the market. When do we talk about the kids? The kids. I mean, culture, b-boy culture. The key word in b-boy is boy, not man. Everything changes. Everything changes. When we talk about Michael Franzese, those of you who know your history of mob culture know about the Colombo family boss, Michael Franzese. While living in Michigan, I went to a movie called Mausoleum. My mom, big horror movie fan. So we went to see a movie called Mausoleum. Horrible movie. That was 1983. 1984, Michael Franzese starts a second movie called Cry of the City. There's no bigger ambassador, or I should say, galvanization of South Floridian b-boy culture other than Cry of the City. It's no secret that Michael Franzese, who will say this himself as a turncoat for the mob, was laundering his money from his gas tax scandal, his scam, his massive moneymaker for the Colombo family. So, movies were a good way to launder money. Movies were a great way to launder money. Movies cost a lot of money. You can burn through money quickly. So if you need to launder your money, you can do that with a movie. Some people do it with car washes. Some people do it with record labels. Some people do it with studios. Some people do it with paying off DJs to come work for them. But this is a small-time cocaine mid-level. This is the mob, Colombo crime family. And he undoubtedly brought him in. So Cry of the City was the one. He came to Fort Lauderdale and then Miami to film a b-boy documentary before the release of Breakin' and Beat Street, respectively. $50 a day for extras, $50 for rehearsal, $100 for shooting, for all extras. Now what's an extra? A kid on the street, a dancer, a b-boy. Every b-boy in Fort Lauderdale surfaced. I want to be in this film. I want to do my moves. Let me show you my skills. Let me show you what I got. People like Joe Granda came out of the woodwork to manage groups and put them in the film. People like Eddie B, Amazing Wizards, FBI crew. So many people appeared in this, getting that $50 a day for rehearsal, $100 for filming. This should have been a great moment for South Florida. But again, it was laundering money. And when you launder money, you're building an entire community on snow. And if it rains, snow melts. So he came to town, I believe, in March of '84 to film. By July of '84, Michael Franzese and his FBI crew were caught up by the FBI. And Michael Franzese went to prison and became a turncoat for the Colombo family. Turned in many people. And has spent a career ever since, writing about it, talking about it, making a career of it. Where does that leave us? Where does that leave the artists, the dancers, the producers, the labels? They're counting on us. Michael Sterling was on that soundtrack. What happens? We're left to flounder, and that's okay. We're not boo-hooing about no money, but it does question you. How does hip hop history see what happened? They don't. They don't see it. So we have to figure out our own role. We have to figure out our own place. That's all right. I know our place. That's why I took this role as Miami-based historian. I know our place. This movie was being produced long before Breakin' came to town, long before Beat Street. And for those of you out there who say Wild Style, keep in mind, Wild Style only played Times Square. You bought the DVD, you didn't buy it in 1984, my friend. You're lying. We know. I've certainly done my fair share of interviews, and I've certainly done my fair share of research, and more importantly, I lived in Florida. Wild Style wasn't shown. That was a Times Square ordeal. So, we were there. We got left out. And the question is, why did we get left out? Why did we get left out? Well, despite being left out, that doesn't mean we give up. Because while Cry of the City was still doing its thing, a record store owner in Fort Lauderdale got a bright idea. I have a son who's 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. He has his ear to the ground. He's checking out this Cry of the City filming. What does this mean for us? What can we do? Cry of the City is going to be big. This is a movie, a nationwide movie. Big money. Come on, we're going to make it big.